What's up, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of Turbo's Top 10. 2K crew, are you ready for some baseball? Because I sure as hell am. I know football is football, but deep in my heart, I'm a baseball guy through and through. So this week's Top 10 is going to be Top 10 starting pitchers right now. Starting off this list at number 10 is Trevor Bauer. And a lot of folks might say, well, Turbo, really? Trevor Bauer? For one, he's an awesome follow on his YouTube page as well as his Twitter. If you haven't checked him out, I highly suggest checking him out. And secondly, he's on a hot start Cincinnati team that could end up surprising a lot of folks with the additions they've made this offseason and acquiring him at the trade deadline last year. So, yeah, I'm putting Trevor Bauer at number 10 on this week's list. Number 9, we're sticking in the Midwest, and another startup team that I think is going to shake up some stuff this year is Lucas Giolito for the White Sox. This kid had an awesome 2019, and I just see him progressing even further in 2020 with some more offensive help and with some more pitching help. So going to lighten load a little bit, but this kid is an ace in the making, and I see him having a breakout or even more breakout 2020. Coming in at number 8, that trusty lefty on the left coast, Clayton Kershaw. Now, a lot of you might have put him up higher in this list. Maybe a few years ago, yeah. But he needs to prove to me that Father Time has not slowed him down. He's still that crafty lefty with the 12-6 curveball, maybe the best curveball in baseball. But if you compare him to the guys I have ahead of him in this list, you're going to see why I have him ranked where he is. But with a bounce back 2020, he could rapidly move up this list once again. Number 7, another young gun out of St. Louis, Jack Flaherty. This kid took an amazing step forward in 2019, and I just expect him to get even better in 2020, along with that whole Cardinals roster. Another whole year of Paul Goldschmidt, and this kid, like I said, is just keep climbing the ranks. Could be a Cy Young contender. Who knows? We shall see how the season goes, but yes, he is going to be definitely in my top 10. Number 6, a lot of folks might see this as a homer play, but I got to put Chris Sale here. Chris Sale belongs right in the middle of this list. A healthy Chris Sale might be even further up on the list, but as it is right now, got the second or third look at his elbow, says it doesn't need Tommy John, just needs some time off. So as a Boston fan, my fingers are crossed that by the end of the year, Chris Sale goes further up on this list, closer to number 1. Coming in at number 5, the World Series stud himself, Stephen Strasburg. Strasburg is in Strasburg during that World Series. The Nationals are not the world champions. He even came out of the bullpen. He did everything that they needed to seal and clinch every game that he was in. So I'm just using that as a springboard, if you will. Not as if he hasn't had a lot of dominant seasons in the past, but I think he'll finally start making those final steps to where he becomes that completely dominant ace-like pitcher that the Nats thought they were getting when they drafted him number 1 overall. Coming in at number 4, the Nats are going back-to-back in this list. Not as World Series champions, but in this list. You know who I'm talking about, that two-eye-colored SOB, Max Scherzer. Probably one of the most entertaining pitchers to watch because all of his antics, yelling at himself, getting himself fired up, but also making the batters and everyone else look fucking silly on some of the nasty filth that he throws. So yeah, we got him and Strasburg back to back. Now to the top 3. The top 3 are actually, in my opinion, pretty hard to rank. I think if you had the option of starting your franchise with either one of these 3, you couldn't go wrong either way. But coming in at number 3, I've got Jacob deGrom for the Mets. A very talented Mets pitching rotation. You got him, you got Syndergaard. Steven Matz, I think, will take a step forward and be a solid number 3, number 4. And of course, the loss of Walker Buehler will show out in that rotation. But leading the way, Jacob deGrom, perennial Cy Young contender. How could you go wrong? Coming in at number 2, like I said, 1, 2, and 3. I think you, depending on which style you like, maybe you could put either one at 1, 2, or 3. But Justin Verlander gets my number 2 bid. What more can you say about JV aside from his lack of communication on the sign stealing scandal? But that's here nor there. That's here nor there. But as far as what goes on the mound, you can't argue what JV's done. Quite possibly had his best year since his MVP season last season. Seems like Father Time has not caught up with him. So JV, keep doing what you're doing, except for that whole sign stealing thing. Come on. And coming in at number 1, the creme de la creme, the big dick in the MLB, it's got to be Gerrit Cole. It's got to be. However, today he did give up 4 home runs to the Tigers in spring training. Yes, it's spring training, but I have a feeling that, maybe cutting his hair and shaving his beard might have an effect. I don't know. I doubt it. But all I do know is that with the depleting rotation of the Yankees, everyone getting hurt, Yankee fans better cross their fingers, toes, and eyes that Gerrit Cole does not go down with an injury, because if he does, your top 1, 2, and 3, and 4 starters would be out then. Thank you, 2K Crew, for sticking in here with me for this week's Turbo's Top 10. Drop your top 10 list in the comments and let's discuss. Let's see where my list ranks compared to yours, because I'd love to see. Let's start some conversations. Let's go. Baseball season is almost here. Check you guys later.